Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. So, there's a few minutes before the top of the hour. We can read a little bit more of the prayers offered by Lord Brahma to Krishna. And finish this round here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Jai. So, Lord Brahma has been offering most beautiful prayers to Lord Krishna after feeling very foolish in challenging Krishna, not recognizing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, challenging him, and then Krishna arranging to show Brahma some of his unlimited potency by expanding the calves and the boys all as Vishnu forms, which Lord Brahma then surrendered. So he's continuing with his beautiful prayers to Krishna. Krishna is standing there in front of him as a cowherd boy. And Brahma says, one should not uselessly labor in mental speculation to estimate the Lord's qualities. Okay, let's go to the next paragraph. Lord Brahma presented himself to Lord Krishna as the most presumptuous living creature because he wanted to examine the wonder of his personal power. He stole the boys and calves of the Lord in order to see how the Lord would recover them. After his maneuver, Lord Brahma admitted that his attempt was most presumptuous, for he was attempting to test his energy before the person of original energy. Coming to his senses, Lord Brahma saw that although he was a very powerful living creature in the estimation of all other living creatures within the material world, in comparison to the power and energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his power was nothing. Scientists of the material world have discovered wonders such as atomic weapons, and when tested in a city or insignificant place on this planet, such powerful weapons create so-called havoc. But if the atomic weapons are tested on the sun, what is their significance? They're insignificant there. Similarly, Brahma's stealing the calves and boys from Sri Krishna may be a wonderful display of mystic power, but when Sri Krishna exhibited his expansive power in so many calves and boys and maintained them without effort, Brahma could understand that his own power was insignificant. Brahma addressed Lord Krishna as Achyuta because the Lord is never forgetful of a little service rendered by his devotee. He is so kind and affectionate towards his devotee that a little service by them is accepted by him as a great deal. Brahma had certainly rendered much service to the Lord as the Supreme Personality in charge of this particular universe, he is without a doubt a faithful servant of Krishna. Therefore, he could appease Krishna. He asked that the Lord understand him as a subordinate servant whose little mistake and impudence might be excused. He admitted that he was puffed up by his powerful position as Lord Brahma. Because he is the qualitative incarnation of the mode of passion within this material world, this was natural for him, and therefore he committed the mistake. But after all, Lord Krishna would kindly take compassion upon his subordinate and excuse him for his gross mistake. Lord Brahma realized his actual position. He is certainly the supreme teacher of this universe, in charge of the production of material nature consisting of complete material elements: false ego, sky, air, fire, water, earth. Such a universe may be gigantic, but it can be measured, just as we measure our body as 7 cubits. Generally, everyone's personal bodily measurement is calculated to be 7 cubits of his hand. This particular universe may appear to be a very gigantic body, but it is nothing but the measurement of 7 cubits for Lord Brahma. Aside from this universe, there are unlimited other universes which are outside the jurisdiction of this particular Lord Brahma. Just as innumerable atomic infinitesimal fragments pass through the holes of a screened window, so millions and trillions of universes in their seedling form are coming out from the bodily pores of Mahavishnu. And that Mahavishnu is but a part of the plenary expansion of Krishna. Under these circumstances, although Lord Brahma is the supreme creator within this universe, what is his importance in the presence of Lord Krishna? Lord Brahma therefore compared himself to a little child within the womb of his mother. If the child within the womb plays with his hands and legs, and while playing touches the body of the mother, is the mother offended with the child? Of course she isn't. Similarly, Lord Brahma may be a very great personality, and yet not only Brahma, but everything that may be existing within the womb of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord's energy is all-pervading. There's no place in the creation where it is not acting. Everything is existing within the energy of the Lord. So the Brahma of this universe, or the Brahmas of many other millions and trillions of universes, are existing within the energy of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is considered to be the mother, and everything existing within the womb of the mother is considered to be the child. And the good mother is never offended with the child, even if he touches the body of the mother by kicking his legs. Lord Brahma then admitted that his birth was from the lotus flower which blossomed from the navel of Narayan after the dissolution of the 3 worlds, or 3 planetary systems, known as Burloka, Bhuvarloka, and Swarloka. The universe is divided into 3 divisions, namely Swarga, Martya, and Patala. These 3 planetary systems are merged into water at the time of dissolution. At that time, Narayan, the plenary portion of Krishna, lies down on the water, and gradually a lotus stem grows from his navel, and from that lotus flower Brahma is born. It is naturally concluded that the mother of Brahma is Narayan, because the Lord is the resting place of all living entities after the dissolution of the universe. He is called Narayana. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna. The word Nara means the aggregate total of all living entities, and Ayana means the resting place. The form of Garbhodakshai Vishnu is called Narayana because he rests himself on that water. In addition, he is the resting place of all living creatures. Besides that, Narayan is also present in everyone's heart, as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. In that sense also, he is Narayana, as Ayana means the source of knowledge, as well as the resting place. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that remembrance of the living entity is due to the presence of the Supersoul within the heart. After changing the body, a living creature forgets everything of his past life. But because Narayan, the Supersoul, is present within his heart, he is reminded by him to act according to his past desire. Lord Brahma wanted to prove that Krishna is the original Narayana, that he is the source of Narayana, and that Narayana is not an exhibition of the external energy Maya, but is an expansion of spiritual energy. The activities of the external energy, or Maya, are exhibited after the creation of this cosmic world, and the original spiritual energy of Narayana was acting before the creation. So the expansions of Narayana from Krishna to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu to Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and from Kshirodakshaya Vishnu to everyone's heart, are manifestations of his spiritual energy. They are not conducted by the material energy. Therefore, they are not temporary. Anything conducted by the material energy is temporary, but everything executed by the spiritual energy is eternal. Well, I had that question, why did Lord Brahma not recognize Krishna? Well, apparently he did recognize Krishna. But if you look at this sentence here, this is Lord Brahma wanted to prove that Krishna is the original Narayan, and that he's the source of Narayan, and Narayan is not an exhibition of the external energy Maya, but is an expansion of the spiritual energy. And previously we just read that he wanted to see how Krishna would deal with the situation of the boys and the calves being stolen. How would he get them back? How would he deal with it? So, because I was thinking, well, why did Brahma do this? Why didn't he appeared to not recognize Krishna, the Supreme Being, but evidently he did. But he went ahead and did this anyway because he wanted to see the extent. He wanted to see something even more amazing. Which kind of, if you look at Arjuna and his conversation with Krishna, he has to see the universal form. He wanted to know more. He had Krishna as a friend, and he knew Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he wanted to see some of the display, the magnificence, the awesomeness. He wanted to see some of that. So Krishna displayed the universal form, and then he displayed his forearm form, and then that was enough. I just, okay, thanks. Now I have my friend back. And it kind of happened to Mother Yasoda also while she was feeding her child. She didn't ask to see something magnificent, but Krishna showed her the universal form and all the planets and universes within him, within his mouth, within his body. And she's holding him as a little child. So that kind of helps to understand why Brahma did this. He wanted to prove that Krishna is the original Narayan. Lord Brahma reconfirmed his statement establishing Krishna as the original Narayan. He said that the gigantic universal body is still resting on the water known as Garbhodak. He spoke as follows. This gigantic body of the universe is another manifestation of your energy. On account of his resting on the water, this universal form is also Narayan, And we are all within the womb of this Narayan form. I see your different Narayan forms everywhere. I can see you on the water. I can feel you within my heart. I can also see you before me now. You are the original Narayan. And he goes on to with more, it gives actually quite a bit more prayers. Establishing Krishna as Supreme Narayan. So that's why Lord Brahma did this. That's why he challenged Krishna like that. To prove that Krishna is the source of everything. Even Narayan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.